So we'll begin with some basic footwork patterns. The first one I like to teach my students is based on an Asterix shape. So we'll start with the first one, which is going to be the male triangle and female triangle. So if you just imagine you're standing in the middle of the Asterix diagram, there's a line going forward, line going back, a diagonal this way, diagonal this way, diagonal back, and then two lines going out to the side. You take your weapon, set it on your shoulder just so it's out of the way. You begin by stepping forward to the right on the 45-degree angle, making sure you take your back foot with you. You don't want to leave this stuck in this position because it is now on the line of attack. We need to make sure we clear the line. We step back to the center, and now we go out forward to the left, take the rear foot, and back to center, forward right, forward left, forward right, forward left. Each time you make the step, do not stay in place for too long. When your front foot returns, it should be as if it's kicking the next foot out. This is the replacement step. Okay? Now we'll add on the backwards stepping. I'll go back and to my left. Same principle applies. As I move back, I take the front foot with me. Back and to the right, back and to the left, back and to the right, back and to the left. Now I'll put it all together. Forward right, forward left, back right, back left. Forward left, back right, back left, forward right. You can mix this up any which way you choose, making sure you always remove the rear leg, or rather the trailing leg, from the line of attack, and make sure as you change direction, it is a quick replacement. Adding one final step to this, we're going to look at the lateral sides. So moving lateral to my right or sideways, I step with my right foot and I bring my left leg with it. I step back to the left, bring my right foot. So this is the lateral stepping. Now I combine it all. Forward left, back right, back left, forward right, lateral left, lateral right, forward left, forward right, lateral left, lateral right, back left, and back right. So mix those up any direction you choose, focusing on the replacement step and not leaving the trailing foot on the line of attack. Next footwork variation I'll show is the addition of the cross step on the male and female triangles. We'll have a crossing step that we do on the male triangle and a crossing step we will do on the female triangle. Begin at the center of the diagram. Remember, we have the line forward, line back, diagonals, and side to side. This will apply only to the forward diagonals and the backwards diagonals. Okay. Begin in your stance. As I take a step back and to my left, as I bring my trailing foot, I will put it behind, keeping my knees bent, coiling my hips, and as I complete the cross step, I will uncoil, moving sideways. Reset yourself back to the center of your diagram, moving back into your right, bringing the left foot, coiling, knees bent. You'll feel the load in the hips. Uncoil, step back, back to your center. I'll go back into the left, cross, open. Back into my right, cross, open. One more time left, and one more time right. Now moving forward, we'll add a pivot motion on the forward line. So as I step forward to my left, my right foot comes behind. I will uncoil, and as I uncoil, you'll watch I'll be facing in the opposite direction. And now, adding a pivot, I turn back forward. The pivot is for your power and counter striking when we begin doing the Largo drilling. Back to your center, going forward to the right. Left foot crosses, turn, turn. Left again, right again, back into the left, back into the right, forward left, and forward right.
We will now do the 6 count. The 6 count is a pattern of striking that helps you develop your flow. You begin with the right stance, right foot forward, left foot on the back, right here is up, weight is evenly distributed between the legs. Chamber here, you strike diagonally down, cut the neck, diagonally up, cut under the armpit, point of the stick, and the sword is forward. Chamber here, diagonally up, diagonally down. Center cut to the body, center cut to the body. One more time. Turn, 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 then turn, turn, turn. One more time. Now you do that in 3 counts. Down, up, and down. Up, down, and up. Up, down, and up. Down, up, and down. Center, center, center. Center, center, center. This way, no matter where your sword is, you can do 3 counts just by following the same line of attack. So you can develop your flow. You can add the stepping that Guro Jerome showed. So it doesn't matter if you begin here. Take a step forward to the right. Or you can go back. Just help develop your flow. Hey, don't stop, don't hesitate. Just cut.
So to begin this pattern, you have to just understand essentially the most basic thing in Filipino martial arts, which is defanging the snake. When he makes an attack, I don't regard this as a weapon that can harm me. I regard this as a target in which I can hit. So I'm going to use my longest weapon, being my sword, to the closest target, which is Christos' hand. So as the angle 1 comes in again, I move back on the 45, and as it's passing, I extend my weapon, and I'm trying to cut the forearm. If you are close enough, you can use the checking hand to pass and assist the cut. For the angle 2, I do this one slightly different. Many systems teach, come again with the angle 2 please. Many systems teach the 45-degree stepping back for angle 2. Over the years of training and cross-training with different individuals, I've learned that this may not always be the best option, because I have no control over the angle, how Christos throws this angle. Some systems throw horizontal high strikes. Other systems throw downward diagonal high strikes. So if Christos gives me a downward diagonal in which he actually tries to chop my head, one more time, 45 back will work. If he gives me a horizontal, which he tries to chop my head, one more time, I may still get cut. The reason for this is simple geometry. The maximum extension which you have with your arm is when your armpit is at 90-degree angle. If I lower the angle, I lose reach. If I increase the angle, I lose reach. So if Christos extends his strike perfect 90 degrees from his armpit, it would be very difficult for me to evade this. So when I defend angle 2, throw it a little bit gentle because I don't want you to smash it. When I defend angle 2, I choose more often than not to extend my blade, go under, and pass up. Because that motion will work whether he is coming with a downward diagonal or a horizontal. Again, I have no control over how he strikes me, so I must program my body to do something that will work in a variety of situations. So now as Christos makes his attack, I cut, pass, under. Angle 3, we're going to go back on the 45 degrees, cutting over top, passing if necessary. For the angle 4, I go back on the 45 degrees, slapping his blade down, passing. Angle 5, up the center thrust, I pass, and I chop the hand. That is the basic entry.
There are 3 situations that can happen when I deal with an opponent. Situation number 1, I'm faster than he is. If I'm faster than he is, I can insert a cut, a thrust, or generally a strike before dealing with his attack. Situation number 2, I'm on the same timing as he is, the same speed. This way, I can synchronize my defense with his attack. Situation number 3 that can happen, I'm slower than he is, therefore I have to block his attack. Nick, can I borrow you? He strikes with an downward angle to my neck. I'm faster than he is in this situation, so I insert the cut before dealing with him. Situation number 2, we're on the same timing. Therefore, I can synchronize my defense with his attack and I parry from the outside before coming again in. Situation number 3, I'm slower than he is. I see that I cannot move before he moves. So when he strikes, I have to block. I have to be behind my weapon for protection.
So now from this, we'll add on to the 6 count. We'll show it only on the angles 1 and 2 for simplicity and saving time. But if you understand it against the forehand attack being the angle 1, the angle 3, and the angle 5. And if you understand it against the backhand, angle 2 and angle 4, you do the same motion. 1, 3, 5 are the same, 2 and 4 are the same. So Christos gives me the angle 1, I step back, chop the arm. Next motion, I hack into his tricep. This is because sometimes I may miss. And if I miss, he's not just going to stand there, he is coming back. So I have to have something in the chamber ready to go to stop that. So if I miss, bam, chop this arm. Okay? Next motion, after I hack, I'm going to come down with the redondo on top of the hand. This should get rid of his weapon. Following motion is an abanico strike. This may look strange with the sword. You can slap somebody in the face with your sword. But when I use the blade for this, I'm not actually throwing an abanico strike to hit. I flick the weapon to orient the tip forward. So if he has any clever ideas about trying to come forward, he's going to run it into his face. Okay? Finish the motion with a backhand downward diagonal and a forehand downward diagonal to the head. So that is your 6 motions. One more time by the numbers. 1, hack 2, redondo 3, abanico 4, downward X 5, 6. Against the angle 2, under. So now, if you look at this, I'm in danger from this left hand. Oftentimes I will make my students put a dagger in this hand to kind of emphasize the threat of this. But the punch is just as dangerous. I may have chopped his hand, but he can still fight me. So this hand is coming. And if I don't have something ready to go to deal with this, I'm going to get struck. Okay? So one more time. He cuts, I go under. This is where we do the cross step. As his hand extends, I'm now out of the way. I chop down on the arm. I redondo if it's still in the way. I abanico, orienting the tip to the face, and then I down X to the head. One more time on 2, please, and we'll go straight into the left punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that is the 6 count. Okay, the 6 count motion is a motion we use when footwork is not available to us. If we have the option for more space to be able to do our footwork, we move on to a 4 count. The 4 count pattern, I'm going to strike Christos' arm again, his leg, followed by his head. The first 2 strikes of this pattern will look very similar to the 6 count. I change it, however, for the last 2 motions, which I cut the leg and I cut the head. Same principle applies as with your 6 count. If you understand the 1 and 2, you can apply the same pattern to the other angles of attack. So, the 4 count, I'm going to try my best to encircle Christos. I want to finish Christos on the side or on the back. This is how we fight multiple opponents. If I'm fighting a multiple opponent scenario, it is not good for me to be on center playing with this man because his friend comes and stabs me in the back, or hits me with a chair, or kicks me or punches me. Either way, it's not a good day. So, the 4 count will keep my feet moving and allow me to scan the area as I go. So, 4 count is 1. From this position now, I'm going to immediately go forward with my cross step. I step, I chop upwards. Now this one, instead of hacking and coming back, I slash through and I check his elbow to keep him from coming back. I open my step, I chop his leg, and now I'm behind to chop his head. One more time fluidly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the backhand, angle 2. Same motion, I drop. This punch or this dagger is coming, so I must move. I drop, I move out, I chop, I step, cut the leg, cross, cut the head. One more time. To the head. Okay, so now, once you have this practice very well, you can make this a continuous drill. This is what we call a Numerado drill, by the numbers. However, with the Numerado drill, this adds the addition of circular footwork. So, as we move this one, actually, would you like to try it? I'll feed you. No? Yes? Okay. So, Christos is going to practice circling me. And I'm going to allow him to finish his cuts. And after he completes, I feel him touch my head. That's my cue to deliver the next. So, I will go 1 through 5. Ready? Up, move, to the leg, to the head. Okay? Now I turn, give him the 2, he drops down, he chops the arm, he's continuing to move, chops the leg, chops the head. I turn, here's 3, he passes, chops the arm up, leg, head, here comes 4, chops the arm, the leg, the head, he continues to move, here comes 5 from underneath, he passes it, and it is finished. One more thing to add to this is a variation of the 4 count, which is a 3 count. You can perform this motion on the backhand attacks. Sometimes, give me the angle 1, please. Sometimes, as you move with your partner, he may turn and be very close to you. If this is the case, you can stay outside of the arm. Go back, please. As he makes his 2, I could cut and check. That is the first motion. Second motion, since I'm already here, I chop the leg and I chop the head. 3 counts. He can turn to give me the angle 3, so forehand please. Turn to forehand. I pass, I cut, I cut, I cut. Now he comes with the 4. If he's tight, here I jam with the left hand, cutting up with the sword, cutting the leg, cutting the head. So if it feels like your partner as you drill this is too close to you, do the 3 count. Okay, so mixing the 3 count and the 4 count. Okay, the final exercise I'd like to show is the 5 count. Okay, these names, I'm only calling them this because it works with the number of strikes we're delivering, so it makes it easier to remember. So Christos in the beginning said that There's 3 timings. If we're faster than the opponent, if we're on the same time as the opponent, or if we're slower than the opponent. This is a pattern we use when we are slower and our defense, our first defensive motion becomes the block. So, on the angle 1, we block the sword, we check the hand. We press down. Second motion is a thrust across the face. Third motion is a chop to the hand as we cross. Fourth motion is the chop to the leg. Final motion, the fifth, is the chop to the head. One more time, angle 1. Block, rip the face, chop the arm, chop the leg, chop the head. The backhand. First motion is the block. Make sure that you turn your weapon either way so that you're defending with the flat so you do not damage your edge. The most important part of this defense is not where the weapon is, it's where the left hand is. You must try to touch his left hand to dampen the power of his strike. Once you have this, pass down, tear the face, cut the arm, cut the leg, cut the neck. One more time. First motion block, second motion tear the face, third motion up against the arm, fourth motion the leg, fifth motion the head. One more time, fluidly through, and we will do this in the same fashion as we did the Numerado. Okay, 1 through 5. 1. Turn for 2. Spin. 2. Turn for 3. Turn for 4. And come for 5. So that is the 5 count. Your objective in the drilling is to mix them all together as you choose.
Now we will do now a simple drill with 3 motions each, like a Sumbrada, where we are dealing that we are faster than the guy who attacks us. So he strikes with a downward angle to my neck. I zone out, cut his hand. My point points forward towards him. I take a step back and I thrust, as it is. He will pivot and cut my hand. He will come downward down to my head. I zone out, I cut under his arm, take it out, and space away. Now I come towards him with a downward angle. He will space out and cut the inside of my forearm. The point of his weapon is towards me. He thrusts. I'm faster than he is, so I can go out and take him. Now I will come with a downward angle. He will zone out, do a roof block, but it's not actually a block. He cuts the inside of my forearm. Spreads this away, further steps back, and comes with a downward angle. 1, 2, 3. Now I come inside. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? You can add a free stepping pattern as long as you stay away from the weapon that's coming. This aims to my neck, so I have to zone out away from it. If you zone out and you don't know the length of his weapon and you zone out on the back, maybe he cuts you, maybe he doesn't. Why risk? Therefore, I go away. I go beneath the curve. Now I go forward. He steps out, cuts my hand, and he cuts vertically down to my head. So I zone out, cut the inside of the forearm, take it away. Now I turn. Φύγει μακριά, γυρνάω όμορφα. Να κάνω τώρα να κόψω κανονικά αργά. Σωστή, Κάρφωσε γάμο την πουτάνα μου. If you're closer, you can parry. You come. See? I go beneath. Right? If I have the same timing as he does, we're at the same level of speed, I can synchronise his attack. So if he comes here, take a step back, and I whip him back to my sword. I come back with one, top of his head. One opens it up, he will thrust it. I come back with a three, he will return. He will come back with a three, I press it. Now it's my turn. Go here, press, stop, redondo, press it. So this is the drill. 1, press, 2, thrust, 3, redondo, 4, stop. Okay? 3 different timings, faster than his, same timing, and I'm a bit late, so he's faster. Now I'm gonna do a drill that I'm slower than his. I have some fun, or maybe I don't have enough room. I block, I ride, and I use my forearm. I don't go here. Bad idea to chop the foot. So I ride, immediately I can control it. Either with the seat, grabs, I control, I take this back because maybe he has taken hold of me. He blocks with a flat, and I come back with that one. He rides, he uses it. Grab, control, I use to support my forearm. 2 points of contact, pass. Ride, control, coming, control. Block here as well. Fine. 2 points of contact. Right, second positioning, grabs hold, I release it. Here I go back. Strike, pass. Right. There's no problem if you want just a touch to the line. Come back. Release. Play right. From the drill, where I'm faster than the attacker, we will add the finishing moves. So we'll go from the first one. If you strike angle 1, come here, I go straight with his lever. Turn out, pull, snap, snap the back of the head while I'm leaving. Okay? One more time. Goes inside, I zone out immediately, I go here because if I go up, you can press it, he he can redirect it. He has enough time, maybe. I don't know what I'm risking. So what I want to do is when I cut, I go low. I turn, because now if he even takes down his hand, I can zone out. I zone out, snap the back of the neck. I want to destroy the back. Snap it. Even if you had something that doesn't cut, boom, go straight to the other guy. Okay? You insert that inside your grip. Okay? Second one, come here, start, he zones out, he cuts my hand. Immediately, he comes, slashes, continue the drill. Second, finish it. Second finisher, okay? I come, he zones out, he comes, stop, I chop the hand, I can take it, take the head, snap the back of the head, because even if I miss, listen. Second finisher. Second finisher. Come inside, he takes my hand, he zones, I cut his hand. My point goes towards his eyes. I rest, snap the back of the head. Move, face it next to corner. Okay, one more time. I go inside. Zone out, that's my hand. I zone. Break the eyes, snap the back of the head. Okay? Third one. He comes, I cut, I zone out, he cuts, he comes straight for my head, I zone out, I go here, straight, come, pop out. One more time. I zone out, here, come out, second time, stop it directly. Even if he blocks, fine, chop down, pick back up the eyes. So the reason I start low to the liver, apart from being an internal organ, is that if I start high, he can just move his hand there easily. He can defend much more easily than this position. Now, even if he lowers his hand, this is why I open it up. I check, cut it off, break the eyes while I move to both sides, snap the back of the neck, move away to the other guy. Okay? So this will be like, if he's coming towards me, I cut his start, he's already there, I snap, I'm off to the other guy. Okay? Okay? We explained why here you start Alternatively, guns, I block, redirect, cutting, thrust, take it out, snap. Okay? Third one. Presses, it thrusts, then I can do the same thing. Top of the head, straight there, take the eyes out, snap the back of the head and move. Exactly the same as angle one. As you redondo, this hand goes there. You can chop from below. If you go over this hand, chop it. Only do interact with chop diagonally, because if I hit like this, you can zone out. Oh, I see a double kill. Okay. Alternatively. Wrap the armpit, take it out, take the eyes, snap the back of the head. I redondo with the flat. Step back so he doesn't cut me. Switch, grab it, point it to his shoulder, armpit, point it to his armpit, take it out, in case he turns, snap the eye, back of the head. Okay? Flat. Same thing. Snap the arm, go inside, so everything you do. Snap, rondo, redirect, get in, eyes, back of the head.
once again, we'll go through. One, he presses, he stabs, I take out the ear damage, he presses, and then I'm on one. I press, I stab, I redondo, he presses, he cuts, one, what I need you to do is get in time to synchronize yourself, snap the head, snap the back of the head, move to the next opponent. Okay? So, slowly. One. Hop. You can add another one. You can actually roll. Take the head, snap the back.
Okay, so just review step by step some of the long blade stuff. I'll have you guys do this first, just the defensive cutting. So, Christos talked about the different timings for the attack. You can be early, you can be on time, and you can be late. Okay? Like 3 times late. Waka waka. Okay, so he cuts his angle 1. I'm early. I step out 45 degrees, let him pass on the inside of the arm. He cuts his angle 2. Remember we spoke about, jump the neck. We spoke about this, that sometimes depending on how he cuts, if he cuts diagonal, stepping 45 degrees could work. But if he cuts horizontal and really tries to reach, stepping 45 might not work. This is why I prefer slowly cuts. This is why I prefer on the backhand, the angle 2, to go under. Clear this one. Okay? The 3, 45, pass, cut the arm. The 4, 45, pass, cut the arm. The 5, pass the blade, chop the arm. We talked about we have the triangle stepping. Okay? We also have the lateral stepping with the sideways stepping. Okay? The angle 5 is sideways stepping. And the defense and the cut on 5 is not at the same time. It's more like a half beat. So, hand sword. Hand sword. Okay, so side step, hand sword. that I'm doing, the checking with my left would become cuts and pokes. All right? So, one more time. Another way to think about this is the targeting. I strike the man's arm, I strike the man's arm, I strike the man's leg, I strike the man's head. If I take the arm, and he wants to continue fighting, what's his next weapon?
Kick.
Kick. So, I take the leg before he has time. Automatic. Same on this side, too. Next weapon is the hand. Next weapon is the leg. Before he has time. Okay? I'm going to have Christos moving and cutting me. I'm the feeder. Okay? So Christos' job. Yeah, you're going to. His job is to get around me to make a circle. Okay? So flip it. I'll be the guy doing the movements. He will be the feeder. So the feeder's job, just like in Balintawak, is to give the receiver the pressure and to help them train and make them better. So as he's attacking me and I do my motion, when I touch the back of his head, that's his cue to give me the next angle. And so the way we'll practice this for simplicity today is just 1 through 5. So at times it may feel strange when your partner's behind you. You may feel like you just want to turn one way and hit him again, but I'd like you guys just to remember to keep it in order, 1 through 5. Okay? So, as I said, Christos will try to circle me, and I will let him get his attacks, and he's going to chop my head to tell me when it's time to go again. Okay? So, this is the drill. Ready? Chop.
Jerome will try to get around me.
Sorry.
And I will wait till he finishes his attacks. That's the back of my head.
He caught that. Okay, ready? He attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. He comes with 2. I go enter. 2, 3, 4. He comes with 3. 2, 3, 4. He comes with 4. 3, 4. He comes with 5. 2, 3, 4. Okay? This is the drilling. Now, sometimes your feeder may turn in a very tight circle. Okay? So here's what I mean. He comes with a 1. Freeze. If he steps back towards his left side and turns, this is what we would call a long arcing strike. So he's casting his weapon out this way. It would be very difficult for me to move forward into this because it's going to come so fast. So instead of going into it, I will go under it. The defense that you already know. Now, instead of doing a turning with the long strike, he's going to turn with a tight strike. So 1 again. He turns with the tight strike. I just stay. So this is the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. He turns with angle 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. He turns with angle 4. 1, 2, 3. He turns with angle 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Next one is 5 count. This is the last one. Okay. I also have another one called the 2 count, but that is called the lethal one. Because if he attacks me, I go none. Okay? So you guys have all this motion in the Balintawak curriculum. But continuing on with this footwork idea that we have, Christos mentioned the timings, okay? If I'm early, if I'm on time, and if I'm late. Okay? This is one we do if we are late. So he rushes me, he takes me by surprise with this one. I stop. Defend flat of the blade, release this hand, cover it again as I tear through his eyes. In this position, he may punch, chop the arm, chop the leg, chop the neck. Same pattern, okay? The only difference is we add the block and the thrust to the face. On the backhand, block, thrust the face, chop the arm, chop the leg, chop the head. Okay? On the low line, 3. If you must, you can drop down, cover, 4. Pass. Here, here, here. Whichever you like. And you can strike in any fashion that you want to. This is just the format that I use to teach. A hit is a hit.